Good morning, good afternoon, whatever you take, since it is a recorded lecture. Today we'll learn about the red wine service. Last time we did a white wine service, now we do a red wine. Now first of all we need to start that what you have to understand that what are the prerequisites we need to start the service of red wine. Obviously this is your red wine bottle, you need that first. Then you need this glass. Then you need a decanter. Then you need a coasters, right? Today we'll see some interesting thing. We need a candle and we need a lighter also. Now why lighter and candle? We come to that later on. Because we're going to serve two different types of wine. Let's assume first of one that we have is that it's a it's a Nine Hills red wine. It's made by Shiraz. So obviously it's a Shiraz red wine and it has been served on a straight one glass. So if it is a one glass situation, then we do it a different way. Then we also go for another wine which is a Jacob's Creek Cabernet Shiraz. It's an Australian wine. We are using water here. So in this Australian wine, we do a decanting. We'll also learn how to decant a heavy red wine, heavy full-bodied red wine. So let's start the service now. So let's assume that the guest has already been arrived here and he's going to order for a red wine. So what is the first thing that you should do? Yeah, the guest has ordered for Sula red wine. You need to make your salver. Your salver should be comprised of your red wine glass and then your coaster. You come over here and you just say basic concept of your first year. Mr. Basic basic concept of your first year. Right leg forward, put the coaster. Guest is right-handed, so you put the coaster here and put the wine glass here. Right? This is the first job is done. We move back and then we do the red wine service. The guest is ordered for Sula Nine Hills, one full bottle. While you serve this Sula red wine, that time you need to do something different. Since it's a red wine, there is chance of droplet, so we will just make this survey very much nice and clear. And please, Mr. Blake, please come to closer. Take a look what we are doing. We are creating a wine collar. Let's take a look. We are creating a wine collar. It's very simple to make. You can put it like this, and then you can just tuck it around, something like this. Sorry, this napkins are slightly shorter in size. That's the reason this is creating a problem. Okay, I think I have done it here. So just you tuck it inside and you got a wine collar ready. That's how your wine should be served. This is the way the bottle should present it. Now once again you come to the guest and then you serve. So the guest is sitting over here and you can once again put your right leg forward. You can say, sir, it's a Shiraz 9 Hills. Would you like to try a glass of wine? So obviously that's a 10 ml. It's a regulation. The rules, the 10 ml that you need to serve first. While serving, you need to hold the bottle just like this. Take a look how I'm holding the bottle. So I'm holding the bottle just like this, okay? And I'm holding it here. I need to show the brand towards the guest. So yes, while I hold it something like this. I open the cap, put my right leg forward, keep the cap in my pocket, and then I'll ask the guest just for one taste. Right? So guest says that once again you can take a look how the guest is going to taste. He will swill the wine just like this and then you can close the camera, see how I am smelling and drinking the wine. Let's take a look. So my entire nose and my entire mouth is inside the wine glass. This is the very interesting thing to understand. Yeah, I say it's good. Now I'll go for the, obviously it has to be good, there's no other option because we have got a water here, right? So once again I put the wine cap inside our pocket and then we'll serve the wine. So it's 150 ml, that's the standard pour we need to do. And then we turn the bottle and we'll say enjoy the wine. Now once again same thing, guest has purchased this entire bottle. So we're not going to take away the bottle back. What we do, we'll keep the wine bottle on the table. Red wine is served at 15 to 18 degrees Celsius temperature. So obviously there is no need of a wine chiller. It will be kept like this. Now what about this cap? Remember what we did in case of a white wine? We keep it on a B&B plate or a coaster just to smell. Here we also do the same thing. We'll bring this coaster back and we'll keep this wine coaster over here. So the guest will sit over here. He will enjoy the wine and at the same time he will also smell the cap, something like this. he will smell the cap something like this. So that's how the thing will happen. He's smelling the cap, he's also drinking the wine. And remember one thing, I have put this brand 9 Hills in front of the guest. So he is watching and drinking. Because the fact is, if you serve this Shiraz wine to a Frenchman, he knows better than anybody else. So that's the only reason it has been advised to all that when you serve the red wine, you have to be served this thing, the bottle facing towards the guest. Okay, this is the main factor of the red wine service which I have served, a light bodied wine. Now we go for the interesting thing. So now the guest has ordered for this wine. This is a wine which is a heavy, full-bodied wine. It has been aged, let's take an example, for 10 years. Now when there is an aging of red wine, there is a possibility of a sediment. That's why the decanting use. We'll learn this very interesting thing now. So now the guest is here. The guest has ordered for a Jacob's Creek wine. Exactly the same thing will be done. We will take the salver, we take the coaster here, and we put the coaster, I'm sorry, the coaster is already there. So we'll put the coaster here, and then we'll put the red wine glass. Question is wine now. Now, here we do an interesting thing. Please take a look. I don't know there is a sediment or not. मुझे मालूम नहीं यहाँ पे sediment है या नहीं है. लेकिन there is a possibility. We have read in the books. The more age you wine, there is a sediment. जितना भी आप clearing and finding कर लो. What you're going to do right now? We will do something really interesting. Fact, we'll light this candle now, and it has to be done in front of the guest. So guest is watching me, right? So we'll switch on this candle. First, please come closer. Take a look at this fact. I have put some sand here. सैंड डालने के कारण यहाँ पे इसको दिखाई दे रहा है, बट रियलिटी में जब आप वाइन सर्विस करोगे रेड वाइन में आपको दिखाई नहीं देगा, बिकॉज द एंटायर वाइन इज रेड. रेड में आपको ब्लैक कलर नहीं दिखाई देगा. सो दैट इज द रीजन. यू कैन टेक अ लुक. देयर इज सम सेडिमेंट. ओके, how do I remove this sediment? That's the big question, because guest will not have the wine with the sediment. So what we have to do? A professional wine server. Here you need a sommelier. The professional sommelier, what he will do? He will first put this wine in a decanter. Now while he putting in the decanter, he will be doing something like this. And you can see clear look here, all the sediments right over here. Okay, so this is the reason behind. I mean, it's very easy to look. ये देखने में बहुत आसानी हो रही है क्योंकि we are using a wraith, a sand have been used, and this is in water. But in reality, when there is a red wine, you will not able to see this thing. This is the reason this thing has been done. Now put the camera closer now, sir. You can take a look at the sediment, and this is the reason the candle is always switched on. Okay, so the bottle is here. Now what we do, we will take the salver now, and we take this wine decanter. Now we take this bottle also we keep the bottle over here because it is done in front of the guest. We'll go and do a tasting as usual. Once the guest tastes this wine, so he said that yes, that's fine, it's okay. Then we serve the real wine. And after this service, we'll keep this decanter over here. This is happen once in a while. I mean, let me tell you one thing. This is a phenomena which happens when the guest order the most expensive wine of all time. Then only this thing will happen. What about this bottle again? It is exactly the same thing will happen. We'll take the collar up here, and what we'll do actually, we will just make the collar here only, and we will keep this wine bottle just over here, just like that we did in the last time, Jacob's Creek wine. And then we keep this cork open, and as you can take a look here, so the cork is open, and we can keep it over here so that the guest can smell and wine. And exactly it is look like this thing because I made it in a sand. मैं आपके हॉस्टल के बाहर थोड़ा सा रेत था, वो रेत डाल के लेके आया so that you can take a look the sediment. Every time when guests drink this wine, he will call for a waiter. And the waiter will come, he decant the same wine with a candle and then he will serve. This is a very, very high level specialized service. And remember one thing, if this kind of wine served in a restaurant, the cost of the wine for one bottle is more than 1 lakh rupees. Like we have read in the book, Chateau Montmirail, or we can tell Chateau de Quem, Chateau de Petros, this is the greatest French wine, Chianti, this kind of wines are served over there. Okay? So that's how this wine service is done. Sometimes it is also served in a wine cradle. Okay, there is a wine basket or something like that. In that it will be also served. But generally cradle mein kya hota, it has to be tilted like this. So it's better that we keep it like over here, and then it is easy for service. It's a modern service method. The first one that I show you, it's the most common phenomena in everywhere. But this is one which you need to keep in mind in case there is a high sediment wine comes. Okay. Right? Thank you very much.